Greetings! Mandatory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Tier Days! Alright, then, to get started, press the A button now. Loading game and proceeding. And here we are in the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And now, in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Lyrical Monasterio's Archangel Twin Wings, Alestiel, Blackwing, D-LBT02. And I'm going to be using this Lyrical Monasterio's Archangel Twin Wings, Alestiel, Blackwing, D-LBT01 deck as the base of the deck I'm going to build. Alright, let's get started. So going to edit deck, entering edit deck, and here we are. And like I just mentioned just now, the deck I'm building for this deck profile video is a Lyrical Monasterio's Archangel Twin Wings Alestiel deck, focusing on the Blackwing ability, made up of cards only available up until D-LBT02. So, alright, first let's go to filter settings, pack, show only cards from D-LBT01, Lyrical Melody, and D-LBT02. It's a new school term, apply filter, alright. Then first, let's get started with the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3 this deck we're using, right deck, Grade 3, Archangel Twin Wings, Alestiel, skills for skill, auto, as a Vanguard. At the beginning of your main phase, choose a card from your bind zone and put it in your hand. And if you put a card, put the top card of your deck face up. And the second skill, continuous, as a Vanguard, White Wings. During your turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power, plus 1 critical. Third skill, continuous, as a Vanguard, Black Wings. During your turn, all of your opponent's units gets minus 5,000 power. And fourth skill, White Wings is active when your bind only has odd grades, and Black Wings when it only has even grades. So for the Archangel Twin Wings Alestiel, it's the main Grade 3 to run this deck. Its skill is the first skill. At the beginning of your main phase, you can choose any card from your bind zone to enter your hand, and then you simply bind the top card of your deck face up. So for this first skill, it works with the fourth skill, which is whatever card ends up in your bind zone can either activate White Wings or Black Wings. If you got only odd grades in your bind zone, you'll have White Wings active, and if you only have even grades active when you're face up on your bind zone, you'll get Black Wings active. So for this first skill, it goes well with the second to fourth skills to activate either Black Wings or White Wings. And then the second skill, continuous, as Vanguard, White Wings. During your turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power, plus 1 critical. So for the second skill, as long as you have the White Wings ability active, which is if you only have odd grades face up in your bind zone, your Vanguard will continuously get plus 5,000 power, plus 1 critical whenever it's your turn. So the second skill is going to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased power and critical. And the third skill, continuous, as a Vanguard, Black Wings. During your turn, all of your opponent's units gets minus 5,000 power. So for this third skill, like the second skill, it's active with depending on what card you have in your bind zone. If Black Wings is active, which requires you to have only even grades face up on your bind zone, during your turn, all of your opponent's units, Vanguard and Rearguard included, get minus 5,000 power. Thus, with the decreased power on your opponent's field, it'll be easier for you to land your attacks on them to potentially pressure or finish them off. So for the Archangel Twin Wings Alestiel, we got 4 on the deck, 1 the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 3, Incessant Vocal, Alkel, skills for skill, auto, as a Rearguard. When your Vanguard is placed, cost, bind this unit. If the cost is paid, draw a card. Second skill, auto. When this card is bound, your card's White Wings and Black Wings are both active until the end of your opponent's next turn. So for Alkel, she's a support card for the Alestiel deck. Her skill, the first skill, while on your rear guard, when a Vanguard is placed on your field, as long as you don't mind binding Alkel from your own rear guard, you can draw a card. So for this first skill, it's not only a good way to put her in your bind zone to activate her second skill, but to also increase your hand by drawing a card. And the second skill, when Alkel is bound, you have the opportunity to activate both the White Wings and Black Wings abilities on your Alestiel and their Alestiel support cards, thus making it easier to pressure or finish off your opponent with all the increased options of the different abilities. And so for Incessant, Vocal, Alkel, we're putting, let's say we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2 says deck we're playing, right deck, Grade 2, Shining as is, Alestiel, skills for skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, choose a card from your bind zone, put it on the bottom of your deck, and if you put a card, bind the top card of your deck face up. Second skill, action, as a Vanguard, White Wings, once per turn, counterblast 1, if the cost is paid, this unit gets +1 critical to end of turn. Third skill, continuous, Black Wings, as a Vanguard, during the battle this unit attacked, your opponent cannot call trigger units from hand to Guardian Circle. So for Shining as this Alestiel, she's the main Grade 2 to run this deck. Her skills, the first skill, just like the Grade 3 Alestiel, whenever you ride her as your Vanguard, you can choose any card from your bind zone and put it in the bottom of your deck. Then you can bind the top card of your deck to have the chance to activate either White Wings or Black Wings, depending on what grade it was placed on the bind zone by the skill. And then the second skill, if White Wings is active, by paying a counterblast of 1, your Vanguard Shining since Alestiel gets +1 critical. So the second skill is going to pressure your opponent with the increased critical from your Vanguard. And the third skill, when Black Wings is active, during that turn, during the battle, your Vanguard Shining as this Alestiel attacks, your opponent cannot guard the Vanguard attack with trigger units from their hand, making it easier for your Vanguard to land its attack. So for Shining as this Alestiel, we got 1 the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 2, Fleeting Longing, Barrel, skill, auto, Black Wings, active when bind, only has even grades. Auto, when this unit is placed in the rearguard circle, Soul Blast 3. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's units for every 2 of your rear guards of even grades, and they get -5,000 power to end of turn. Then, your opponent puts all of their rear guards with 0 power or less on the bottom of their deck in any order. You cannot choose the same unit twice. So for Fleeting Longing Barrel, she's a good support card for the Alestiel decks, mainly for the Black Wings ability. Her skill, when called to the rear guard and paying a Soul Blast of 3, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and it loses 5,000 power for every 2 of your own rear guards with even grades. Then, if the selected unit has its power reduced to 0 or less, it goes to the bottom of the opponent's deck. So for Barrel, it's a good way to not only reduce the power of your opponent's rear guards, but to also have a chance to wipe out their rear guards. So for Fleeting Longing Barrel, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. No, wait, hold on. I think I should take 1 out, only playing 3, okay? Then next up, the Grade 2, Heavenly Recital, ML, skill, auto, Black Wings, active when bind only has even grades. Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked while boosted. Choose a card from your soul or rear guard, and you may return it to your hand. If you choose from your soul, put this unit to your soul. So for Heavenly Recital ML, she's a good support card for the Alestiel deck, especially for the Black Wing ability. For skill, after attacking while boosted, regardless if the attack hits or not, you can choose 1 card from your soul or from your rear guard and return it to your hand. And if you have chosen a card from your soul, ML goes to your soul instead. So for ML, she's a good way to either switch out the cards in your soul to your hand by moving her from your rear guard to soul, or to take any rear guard back to your hand to more or less secure your defense for your next turn. So for Heavenly Recital ML, we got 4 in the deck, taking 2 out, playing 2. Next up, the Grade 2, Advent Stroke, Shadell, skills for skill, action as a rear guard. Cost, counterblast 1 and put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, draw a card. Choose up to 1 card from your bind zone and it gets grade +1 until end of turn. Second skill, continuous. Black Wings, active when bind only has even grades. Continuous as a rear guard. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects and cannot be attacked by opponent's rear guards. So for Shadell, she's a good support card for the Alestiel deck, especially for Black Wings. Her skill, the first skill, simply by counterblasting 1 and moving Shadell from your rear guard to your soul, you can not only draw a card, but also increase the grade of one of your bind zone cards by 1. So for this first skill, not only is it a good way to restock your soul in hand, but to also change the grades of your bind zone to activate either Black Wings or White Wings, depending on what cards in the bind zone at the time you play the skill. And then the second skill, Black Wings. This unit cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects and cannot be attacked by opponent's rear guards. So as long as you have Black Wings active, it can serve as a semi-resist ability for your rear guard Shadell. For as long as Black Wings is active, your rear guard Shadell cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects and cannot be attacked by the rear guards, thus allowing you to maintain having Shadell in your rear guard for whatever purposes you want to use her for. So for the Advent Stroke Shadell, we got 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, playing 3. Next up, The Grade 2, Flight to the Yonder, Shalel. Not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. The Grade 2, Howling Ballet, Fennel. Not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. And next we're putting in the Grade 2. Next card we're putting in, let's see. From the new D-LBT02 cards, we're putting in the Grade 2, Privilege, Potential, Fennel, Skills for Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard of Alestiel in its card name, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost is paid, choose a card from your bind zone and put it into your hand. If you put a card into your hand, choose a card from your hand and bind it. Second skill, Auto, Black Wings, active when bind only as even grades. Auto as a rearguard. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's Grade 3 or greater Vanguards, and it gets minus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for now, it's a support card for the Alestiel deck, especially for the Black Wings ability. Its skill, the first skill. When you call Fennel onto the rear guard, if your Vanguard is an Alestiel, by paying a cost of Soul Blast 1, you can take any card from your bind zone and put it in your hand, then replace it with any other card in your hand to the bind zone. So for this first skill, it's a good way to activate either Black Wings or White Wings, depending on what card you take out and put back into the bind zone with this first skill. And then the second skill, as long as Black Wings is active, whenever your rearguard Fennel attacks an opponent's Vanguard, by paying a counterblast of 1, your opponent's Vanguard loses 5,000 power to end of turn. So for the second skill, it's a good way to make it easier for you to pressure or finish off your opponent by reducing their Vanguard's power. So for Privilege, Potential, Fennel, we're putting, let's see, 4 into the deck, okay? Next up, we're putting in the Grade 2, Aim for the Horizon, PL, Skill, Continuous, Black Wings, active when bind only as even grades, continuous as a rear guard. If you have a Vanguard of Alestiel in its card name, this unit can attack a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard from the back row. So for PL, she's a support card for the Alestiel deck, especially for the Black Wings ability. For skill, as a rear guard, as long as your Vanguard is an Alestiel, your rear guard PL can attack an opponent's Grade 3 or greater Vanguard from the back row. Thus, with this skill, it's a good way to give yourself more attacks to work with and to potentially finish off or at least pressure your opponent with. So for Aim for the Horizon PL, we're putting 4 into the deck, okay? And next up, the Great 1 lineup. For the Great 1s in this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Great 1, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel, Skills for Skill, Auto. When this unit is placed in the Vanguard circle, bind the top card of your deck. Second skill, Continuous, White Wings, Continuous Vanguard. When you would ride from your right deck, you may Soul Blast 1 instead of choose a card from your hand and discard it. Then third skill, Continuous, Black Wings, Continuous Vanguard. All of your opponent's Great 1 or less rear guards cannot attack this turn. So for Indecisive Sky Alestiel, it's the main Great 1 to ride this deck. Its skill is the first skill. When you ride the Great 1 Indecisive Sky Alestiel, you can bind the top card of your deck, thus allowing you to activate either White Wings or Black Wings, depending on what card was placed on the bind zone by this first skill. Then second skill, as long as White Wings is active, when it's time to ride the Grade 2, you may Soul Blast 1 instead of discard a card from your hand, thus securing your hand of an extra card that would normally be wasted for the right deck cost, the second skill. Then the third skill, as long as Black Wings is active, your opponent's Grade 1 or less rear guards cannot attack your Vanguard Alestiel. Thus, with this third skill, as long as Black Wings is active, your opponent cannot pressure you early with multiple Grade 1 rear guard attacks. So for the Grade 1 Indecisive Sky Alestiel, we got 1 the right deck, leaving it that way. And now for the Grade 1. And now the Grade 1, Unwelcoming in Private Dale, Sentinel, Perfect Guard, Skills for Skill, continue with Sentinel, second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Dale, she's a perfect guard for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding a card from her hand, you can block one enemy attack. But she also features an ability unique to all these stand-up perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making her a no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Unwelcoming and Private Dezio, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0 deck we're playing, right deck, Grade 0, Monochronic Personality, Alestiel, Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Monochronic Personality, Alestiel, she's the starting unit of this deck. For skill, when written on top of, you went second, draw a card. So for Monochronic Personality, Alestiel, we got one the right deck, leaving it that way. And next up, for the other Grade 0s we're putting in this deck, we're playing a Grade 0, the Grade 0, Awaiting Smile, Marel, Skill, Auto, Black Wings, active when bind only at even grades, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted, you may return this unit to your hand. So for Marel, she's another support card for the Alestiel deck, especially for Black Wings. For skill, after boosting the attack, you may return Marel from your rear guard to your hand. So for the second skill, as long as Black Wings is active, you'll be able to secure yourself a potential 5,000 point shield with Marel's skill. She can serve as a 6,000 point shield, 6,000 point booster from the back row, and 5,000 point shield from your hand. With this skill, you can have her be used as both. So for the Grade 0, Awaiting Smile, and Marel, we're putting 3 into the deck, okay? And now for the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck we're playing, let's see, the Grade 0, Original Style, El Shuka, Critical Trigger, not gonna play it anymore, taking it out. The Grade 0, Glutton Nor, Critical Trigger, not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. The Grade 0, Diligent Follower, Sigil, Draw a Trigger, not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out. And in their places, we're putting in the Grade 0, Precious Tune, Edwidge, Critical Trigger, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Edwidge, she's a powerful critical trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks. For skill, after boosting an attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Edwidge from your rear guard to your soul, you can choose one unit on your field, Vanguard or rear guard, and give it plus 2,000 power. So for Precious Tune Edwidge, she's not only a good way to restock your soul for later soul blast, but to also give the remaining attackers on the field a little extra power to work with. So for Precious Tune Edwidge, you're playing 4 into the deck, okay? Next up, the Grade 0, the Grade 0, Wings Dancing the Blue Skies, Antia, Critical Trigger. We're putting 4 into the deck. Next up, the Grade 0, Snow Skip, Palby, Front Trigger, Skill, Continuous as a Guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Snow Skip Palby, she's a good piece of powerful front trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks. For skill, when used to guard with while your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield, making Palby a potential 20,000 point shield all on her own. So for Snow Skip Palby, we're putting 3 into the deck, okay? Next up, the Grade 0, Softlight Purell, Heal Trigger. We got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. And now for the Grade 0, Blessing Diva, Grizel, Over Trigger. Skill, trigger, additional effect. During this fight, you get during your turn, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Grizel, she's an over trigger for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, she features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but she also features an ability unique to her alone. Trigger, additional effect, when revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of the fight, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So for Grizel, she's an over trigger best revealed as soon as possible. For the earlier reveal her during a drive check on your turn, so for the remainder of the fight, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power, making it easier to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased power to attack and boost with. So for Blessing Diva Grizel, over trigger, we got 1 in the deck, okay? Deck's been built, cards is explained. Now let's just save the deck, over deck being built, yes. And for the cards in this deck, we're playing 4, Grade 3, Archangel, Twin Wings, Alestiel. 4, Grade 3, Incessant Vocal, Belkel. 3, Grade 2, Fleeting Longing, Farewell. 1, Grade 2, Shining Ziz, Alestiel. 2, Grade 2, Heavenly Recital, ML. 3, Grade 2, Advent Stroke, Shadell. 4, Grade 2, Privilege Potential, Fennel. 4, Grade 2, Aim for the Horizon, PL. 4, Grade 1, Unwelcoming in Private, Deziel. 1, Grade 1, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel. 1, Grade 0, Monochronic Personality, Alestiel, starting unit. 3, Grade 0, Awaiting Smile, Maruel. And for the triggers of this deck, we're playing 8 critical triggers, 3 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger, Grizel. Alright, the deck's been built, Cardfight explained. Now let's get on to testing of the deck, so leaving the edit deck menu, return to main menu, going to fight menu, selecting CPU fight, and selecting the deck I just built, the Alestiel Blackwing D-LBT02 deck. Selecting deck, and now choosing the opponent. Alright, who would be a good opponent to test it out on? Let's see. I guess I'll test it out on... Haru Shinagawa, normal difficulty. Alright, the battle begins. Let's get started. And here we are, deciding he goes first. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors to rock, I lose, going second, okay. Drawing our starting hands, I got a PL, Baruel, 2 Fennel, and 1 Perfect Guard, not that. I guess I'll just return 1 Fennel back, redraw, another Perfect Guard, nice, alright. Now my opponent's going first. She rides, the Great One, beneath the Brilliant Light Tiagra, okay. My turn, I draw. I ride from the right deck, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding, let's see. Okay, I gotta hold on to the Perfect Guards and PL for the multiple attacks, so I should also hold on to Fennel for the powerful skills it provides, so I guess I'll just ditch the Grade 2 Barrel for the right deck cost. Right, Indecisive Sky, Alestiel, starter skill, I draw 1 card. I drew another Farewell to replace the one I discarded, not that. Then my Great One Indecisive Sky Alestiel skill, I bind the top card of my deck. I bound a Great 2 Blackwings, okay, Blackwings active. As long as Blackwings is active, my opponent cannot attack my Vanguard with Great One or less rear guards, alright. Then go into battle phase. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 8k. The attack goes through, drive check. Ah, heal trigger, wasted a trigger, come on. Trigger effects wasted. And okay, 1 damage. Boom. Damage check. No trigger, alright. So that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. She rides the Great 2, Harsh Trading, Tiagra, the Great 1 skill. She reveals a critical trigger and calls it the rear guard. Nice, 1 trigger wasted. She calls Drilling Angel and Painkiller, okay. The rear guard can attack for 10k, Vanguard for 10k, and 18k from this side, not counting triggers, so... Okay, my opponent has 1 damage, I have 0, I only have like 1 card to guard with, the heal trigger, so... Okay, I think I'm gonna block the first attack and let the remaining 2 go through, so I guard with a heal trigger, guard, 23k. The attack is blocked, I'm safe. Now here comes an attack from the Vanguard. 10k, no guard, take the hit. She drive checks. No trigger, safe. And now 1 damage to me. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. 1 more attack from the rear guard. 18k. Okay, then gonna take the hit. No guard. Here comes 1 more hit. Ow! Damage check. Ah! Critical trigger. Wasted a trigger. Come on. All effects wasted. Alright, that's the end of my opponent's turn. Nope, not yet. He's activating Painkiller skill. Retreat, draw, okay. Now it's the end of their turn. My turn, stand and draw. I ride from the right deck, shining as is Alestiel. For the right deck cost, let's see. I'm at 2 damage. I gotta hold on to the perfect guards. And for gotta hold on to Fanel and PL as well. Possibly Barwell. I should hold on the critical to guard with, so I'll just... Nope. Barrel skill is too high cost, and I can work better with PL and Fanel, so I'll discard Barrel from my hand to ride from the right deck. Alestiel, skill of Shining Assist Alestiel. I take the card from my bind zone, put it in the bottom of the deck, and I bind the top card. Black Wings, okay. Then next I call Aim for the Horizon PL, and I'm calling... Let's see, my grade 3 skill, I can take any bind zone card to put into my hand, okay. Then I'm going to call Privilege Potential Fanel to the rear guard. Skill activated, I Soul Blast 1. And take 1 card from the bind zone, put into my hand. And I replace it with the Great 1, Unwelcoming and Private Daziel, and Odd Great, White Wings active. Next, my Vanguard skill, I Counterblast 1. Choose a card Counterblast to pay for the cost. I pay with the Grade 3 Akel. Plus 1 critical to the Vanguard. Next, I'm calling the Grade 0 Marel to the back row. Alright, that should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, my rear guard PL attacks Drilling Angel. The attack goes through, and boom, 1 rear guard down. Now my rear guard Penel attacks the rear guard Drilling Angel, 10k. The attack goes through, and boom, another rear guard down. Now boosted by Maruel, Alestiel attacks the Vanguard, 16k, 2 crits. The attack goes through, I dry check, no trigger, so 2 damage to my opponent. Boom! Damage check first. Ah, draw trigger this timing, come on! Second check. No trigger, okay. I made the right choice to only attack the Vanguard, my own Vanguard, so my opponent's turn, she rides the Grade 3. One who walks the path of Light Viagra. Skill of the Grade 2, she shuffles, okay. Then the Vanguard skill, she Superior calls, Drilling Angel. Angel skill, moving a card to the soul and drawing, okay. Okay, then let's see. The rear guard attacks for 10k, Vanguard for 18k, here for 18k. I got 1 trigger to guard whiffs and 1 card in my hand to guard whiffs, so alright, I guess I'll let the Vanguard go through and guard the rear guard. So I'll guard the first attack with the Grade 2 Heavenly Recital ML. 15k, attack blocked, I'm safe. And now, here comes the rear guard, okay, 18k. Then I guard with a critical, 25k, the attack is blocked, I'm safe. And now, here comes the Vanguard to Vanguard, 18k to my 10k. No guard, gonna take the hit. She twin drives, first check. No trigger, Painkiller Angel, and second check. No trigger, another Painkiller, safe. So just 1 damage to me. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. No trigger. Ah, another Alkel is out of the deck. Not good. Alright, my turn. I stand and draw. I ride from the right deck Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel for the right deck cost. Let's see. Okay, I gotta hold on to Alestiel in case I can use her skill to put in the bind zone, so I gotta hold on to Perfect Guard. I'll discard PL for the right deck cost. Right, the grade 3. Archangel of Twin Wings Alestiel. Skill of Alestiel. I take a card from my bind zone to put to my hand. I take the Perfect Guard Daziel and bind the top card of my deck. Grade 2, Black Wings. Black Wings skill active. All of my opponent's units lose 5,000 power. Nice. Then next I'm moving the rear guard PL to the back row and call Alestiel to the rear guard. Call. That should be enough. Go into battle phase. First up, my Privileged Potential Fennel attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated. I counterblast 1. Counterblast 1 and reduce the opponent's Vanguard by 5,000 power. 10k to 3k. She guards a critical trigger. 18k. The attack is blocked. Okay. Then next, boosted by... No, wait, hold on. My PL from the back row attacks the Vanguard. 10k to 3k. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. Ah, critical trigger at this timing. Now she's back to 13k. Alright, then boosted by Maribel, my Alestiel attacks the Vanguard. Vanguard to Vanguard, 19k. She guards my Perfect Guard, not good. And discarding a Painkiller for the cost. Twin Drive, first check. Yes, front trigger. Power to the front row. And second check. No trigger, Perfect Guard, not bad. So, okay, the attack is blocked. Now my rear guard, Alestiel attack. No, wait, Maribel skill, back to hand. And now my Alestiel attacks the Vanguard, 23k. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, Perfect Guard, nice. That's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. She's going to activate a Persona Rite. Yep, she's just Persona Riding the one who attacks in the path of Light Viagra. Vanguard skill. Nothing happened. Nope, she plays an order card. The Hour of Holy Judgment cometh. She counterblasts 2, draw 2 cards, and power up the Vanguard. Calling Painkiller, okay. First Drilling Angel attacks the Vanguard. 28k, okay. I have 3 Perfect Guards, a Maribel, and a front trigger to guard with, so I'll let the rear guards go through and only block the Vanguard. So okay, no guards to hit. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, Maribel. Now here, Painkiller skill, Soul Blast, Self Retreat, and draw a card. Okay. Rear guard to Vanguard, 28k. No guard, take the hit. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. Ah, no, Alestiel, I could have used her to Persona Rite. Alright, now it's 33k to the Vanguard. I Perfect Guard. For the Perfect Guard cost, I'm going to, let's see, discard the front trigger for the Perfect Guard cost. She Twin Drives, first check. Grade 1, no trigger, okay. Second check. Painkiller, no trigger, safe. Alright, so attack blocked, I survived. That's the end of my opponent's turn. My turn, stand and draw. Then I'm going to skip the ride phase, go into main phase. My Vanguard skill, I take 1 card from the bind zone to move to my hand. I'm taking Shadell and bind the top card of my deck. Black Wings active, okay. All units minus 5,000 power. Then I'm going to call, let's see. I think I'm just going to call Maribel. I call Maribel to the rear guard. Call. Let's see, here it's 10. Yep, I call Maribel to support the Vanguard, and I call the critical trigger Edwidge to support the rear guard Fennel. Okay, that should be it. Go into battle phase. First up, boosted by Edwidge. My Canal attacks the Vanguard. Skill activated. I'm going to counterblast 1 and reduce my opponent's Vanguard by 5,000 power. So now it's my 14k to 3k. He guards of a critical, 18k, just barely enough. The attack is blocked, okay. Then next I activate my Edwidge's skill. After boosting, goes to the soul, and I give 2,000 power to... Sure, it'll be 19k, 18k. Okay, I give it all to the Vanguard. There we go. Now my back row, PL attacks the Vanguard, 10k. She got to 2 great ones, 13k, just barely enough. And now, boosted by Meruel, Alestiel attacks the Vanguard, 21k. The attack goes through, Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, Alcal, and second check. No trigger, Shadell. So the attack goes through, 1 damage. Here it comes. The light rains down, and boom, 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger, 6 damage. I win. All right. And okay, that fight went pretty well. I got to try out the new cards and still activate my black wins pretty effectively. So I got win, perfect guarded, 6 turns passed, retired 5 or more opposing units, and bound 5 or more cards. I got 1400 BP, total 11,425 BP. Press A to go next. Leaving the fight, returning to fight menu. Leaving the fight menu, returning to main menu. Here we're on the main menu, going to edit deck menu. And with that, the deck's been built, card was explained, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you. And with that, this is all the time we have for today. First up, I want to say thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you'll show support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.